Real quick scenario. Today, I'm going to show you how to set up a camper. Unhook it, then we'll level it, we'll hook everything up. I'm going to take and put a couple blocks under the wheels. Take and unhook electricity. Always keep your lock, your ball lock here. Safety chains. Come on. Sway bars gotta come off. Always take and make sure put pins back in, so when I store it I don't lose my pins. And we're free. I'm going to pull the truck up a little bit, and then we'll start the process of leveling the camper. Okay, we're back. We've unhooked the camper, and now what we need to do is we need to level it. So we'll take and put a block under each corner, and then we'll lower the levelers. But first, I want to level the tongue, and the way I do that is I take basically a level, I put it right on the frame, and I'll crank it here until we're level. Okay, we're pretty close. I would say we're about where we want to be. We want just a slight raise to the front, but not a lot. Okay, so we're pretty much level. Then what I do is I take these stabilizers, and they call them stabilizers because what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to stabilize the camper. Some people think it's a camper jack, and you're really not wanting to jack up the camper. That's not what they're meant for. It's stable here. We've taken and put our blocks under the wheels, and now we'll put our stabilizers out. Oop. We'll put our stabilizers out, and just enough to where you feel a little lift. It's good and solid. Our level's still level. We'll do the other, we'll do 4 of them all the way around real quick. There is, with most campers, there is a manual scissor jack handle which you can use, but I kind of take the lazy way, and I've cut these 2x10s, and I use my jack. Sometimes it don't catch, and I gotta give it a little pull. And we're out. On the other end is our problem. So we're going to pull this back, line it back in that hole. I don't know if you can see, but on the other end of this scissor jack, there's a hole that this rod screws into. And we've got to get it in that hole. Right. So like we say, we just want to snug each one of these down. You're not trying to lift the camper. Yeah, you ready? We may have put more. It might work. No, it'll work. Okay, you started recording?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like I say, there we go. We were just stabilizing. There we go. So we're done with that. Okay, I'm just going to pick these tools up a little bit, but as you can see, we put tire locks or tire chokes under all 4 tires before we started this, because we certainly don't want anything rolling on us. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go around and we're going to look at hooking up the electric, the water, and the sewer. The electric, so far, we've already got it hooked up with an extension going to our power. But I always want to put a surge protector on there. It will definitely protect your equipment, your refrigerator, your electronics from any power surges at the campground. So we're going to go back down here to the power box and I'll show you how you plug that in. Pretty simple, but definitely need to do that. We're going to take here first, I'm going to unplug the electric. I'm going to take and plug this into our surge protector. We'll make sure it's really in. Then I'm going to take and put it back in to our power box and close power box. Our power is hooked up to the camper. As you can see, we've got a 25-foot extension cord here, specifically designed for campers. This is not your household extension cord. Please don't try something like that. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go up here and we're going to get our sewer line out and we'll hook that up. Something I would suggest is, if you're going to set up a camper, I would suggest you go get some small tubs and keep all of your things in separate containers. Your clean water, your sewer water, your dirty water, everything's separate, because you do not want to contaminate your clean drinking water with your sewer water. So in here, there's really not a whole lot. There's one connection that I keep in here, because in most campers, your hose is really in your bumper. Very convenient. Always make sure to put your cap back on. You certainly don't want to lose that. You've got the 2 different ends. This end, you'll see, will fit onto your camper. This end will fit onto that connection and go into the sewer. So what we're going to do right off is get down here and hook our sewer line up. If you can see under here, this connection is where you hook your sewer line. Oh, it's a twist and lock. And you have 2 pulls here, a black and a gray. The gray is supposed to be for your dishwater, your bath water, your sink, that sort of thing. The black is supposed to be for your sewage. Now, on this particular camper, nobody knows why, it's a mystery, but the gray is really black and black is really gray. Long as you know that, it's not a problem. But one of the things we found out was, when you're out camping and everybody's taking showers and everybody's washing their hands and everybody's washing dishes, that gray water tank will fill up fairly quick, a lot quicker than the sewage tank. So I don't leave it open all day, because I'm afraid that I'm going to get sewer fumes back up into the camper. So I hook it all up and I set my clock, and twice a day I come out and just simply pull it, let it drain, and close it. So let's see how we hook this up over here. So now this is always the fun part of camping. Everybody loves dealing with the sewer, but it's really important to get one of these connections. I know people that don't have connections. My son was telling me that his brother-in-law was trying to empty one into a portable sewage potty, and I suspect he didn't have an end like this. It's why it went all over him, because if you try to stick this in there, it won't stay. So I put this connector on here really good, open this up, fit it down in there, it clicks, and the lid holds it down. So we're ready. If we had any sewage in here, any gray water in here, we just turn it on. We emptied it last time we used it. We washed both tanks out. So at this point, we're good and ready to go. What I'm going to do next is we're going to hook up our clean water, and we'll grab that out of the front here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, like I said, I always keep my clean water in a separate container marked, because I don't know about you, but I really don't want anybody to confuse my gray or sewage line with my drinking water. So I take my clean line, and I use the other end. This here, what this is to hook you to city water or conditioned water connection. If you're wanting to fill your tank, you know, say you're at a campsite that doesn't have water, but when you come in, you want to fill your water tank, this is where you would fill your water tank. Just unscrew this and fill it. I cleaned it last fall. I put sanitizing tablets in it, rinsed it out, put tablets in it. It's ready to be used, but you know, where we're at, we've got water hookup, so there's no need to fill that tank. Now, the other thing that I do is I got a filter. You know, I don't know how good the drinking water is at parks. Most of them probably pretty good, but I just wanted to make sure we've got nice clean water. So I got a really good RV filter. And this will filter any of the water that goes in to our RV before we start drinking it or making ice cubes or taking baths. So we'll just go down here and hook this up. Actually, we may want to unhook this first. Make sure screens are clean. We'll put this one on. Hopefully we'll put this one on. There we go. You know, you don't want to manhandle it. Just get it snug. Oop. Come down here, same scenario. Hardest thing seems to be getting these connections on today. Okay. We got everything nice and snug. Oh, a little toasty out here. Put my boxes away. I make sure to put everything back in the container, everything back in the box, and typically do it the exact same way every time. Unfortunately today, when I was unhooking, I didn't do it exactly the same way, and I kind of poked a little spot up the front of the camper. So I'm not going to do that again. Do everything the same way every time. So what I want to do now, I'm going to turn the water on. I'm going to go inside and check it, make sure the water's running. Then we'll come back out and we'll put the awning and we'll do the slide out. So I'm going to turn the water on and be back with you guys in a couple minutes. Okay, now that we've got the camper all leveled, one of the things I always do is I always put my lock back in here, of course. Yeah, I actually have my key. I put this lock back in there, which it never seems to ever want to participate, but every once in a while I get lucky. So I put my lock back on my tongue. Now we're going to turn the gas on. So what I do with it is I'll turn both tanks to the on position, and on my regulator under here you have a little arrow where you can switch it from left to right tank. Both of these are full, so I just switch it to my left tank. It doesn't matter. You know, you can see it if you want to take the cover all off, but this regulator is designed so that if this tank runs out, it automatically switches to the other one. Don't want to put it in the middle. If you put it in the middle, it means it's working off both tanks, and you will never know that you're out of gas until you're out of gas. So now I leave it on this tank, and tomorrow or next day I'll check it, and it's got a little red gauge. If it's red, or it's part red, it tells you it's part empty. If it's all the way red, it tells you it's empty. So here and there, I've opened this up. I've got both of them on. Now we're going to go back in the camper, and I'm going to make sure that the hot water heater kicks on, so that we'll have some nice hot water for dishes and shower and that kind of stuff. So over here what you've got both of, this is for your electric, this is for your gas. And the way I do it is I'll have this off, this on, and it should, let's see, I'll turn them both on for a minute, my electric, and then I flip this off, and my gas tank should be running. So that's all there is to that. Air conditioning, all of them are a little bit different. Just simple. I put it on the cool, auto, high, set your temperature. On your refrigerators, this is a pump to pump water from your tank if you're using your tank. We're not using the tank, so I'm not going to mess with that right now, but if you had your water tank full, you would turn it on and you would select, how much water you want to pull. As far as your refrigerator or freezer go, the very first thing I do when we get to a campground, I come in, I hook up my electric, and I come in and I turn this refrigerator on. It'll work off propane or electric, but if you're plugged into electric, why not use electric? And it's very simple. Up here you just turn it on, off, and an auto. So I put it on auto, the freezer and the cooler, because it takes quite a while to get cold. What we do is I'll bring, and I've got in my truck, a chest full of ice packs. And I'll bring them in a few minutes, and I'll throw 8 or 9 of them in the refrigerator and 8 or 9 of them in the freezer. And that kind of helps it bring that temperature down a little quicker. So 2 hours or so, I'll have a cool refrigerator and a cold freezer. Without those ice packs, it might take 3 or 4 hours. So now the only couple things left to do is we're going to back up here. I'm going to go over and I'm going to make the slide out we have a slide out. This whole kitchen area will slide, and it's automatic. It's right here. As long as you're hooked to power source, very simple, very easy. You've got slide out, slide in. Hopefully you can see that. So we're going to slide out, and as you can see over there, you'll watch it beside that sofa where that wall will actually start moving. Now, one thing you want to really make sure you do when you're finished and you're getting ready to go home, take a little blower and a step ladder and go up on top of that slide out and blow off any leaves, sticks, acorns, whatever falls on there. If not, when you pull it in, that'll get in your tracks and could very easily mess up your slide. The next thing that we're doing here is we're doing the awning, which I learned if you don't, remember when you get home, take the awning, open it up, hose it down real good on the top, let it dry, close it back up. If you don't, just the dirt and the dust and the condensation from sitting out here in the woods for a week, when you get home, if you've rolled it up and you just put it away, you're going to end up with a bunch of mold on your awning. So take it home, wash it down with a little bit of mildew cleaner, house wash, a little bit of water with light bleach, something like that, just to get it off, get it clean, let it dry, then close it up. But this is probably one of my favorite toys here. Very simple, push a button and you'll see the awning start to go. I hope our door is nowhere near in the way of the awning. Hey Matt, you want to go out there and take a picture of our awning coming out? And that's how easy it is to have instant shade. One of the things you do want to do though is remember you've got some little screws here that'll tighten up to kind of stabilize this a little bit. And my wife took a sticky note and put it right by the switch inside. Don't forget to loosen the screws, so when we go to put this thing back, we don't want it to be fighting where we tightened it up here. So I'm going to tighten this other one real quick. Basically, guys, we're set up. Here in about a week, we'll do a video and I'll show you how to break it down. So I appreciate you watching today. If you enjoy our videos, you find them helpful, go to Grandpa Hammer's Garden, subscribe, share it with your friends, and you guys have a great weekend.